All right, welcome to The Explainer. For more than 10 years, when you thought of electric cars, you pretty much just thought of one company, Tesla. They weren't just leading the market, they basically were the market. But things are changing, and they're changing fast. So today, we're going to dig into how the undisputed king of EVs is suddenly in a real fight to hold on to its crown.
So check this out. In early 2024, something pretty major happened. For the first time in forever, Tesla's piece of the pie, their market share for new EVs here in the US, actually dropped below 50%. And look, this wasn't just some random blip on a chart. No, this was a huge deal. Kind of felt like the end of an era, you know?
But here's the twist. This isn't really a story about failure. It's kind of the opposite. It's what happens when you're so successful, so revolutionary, that you force everyone else's hand. I mean, Tesla made electric cars so cool, so desirable, that the rest of the car world couldn't just sit on the sidelines anymore. They had to jump in, and jump in big.
So to really get a handle on how we got to this point, we've got to rewind the clock a bit. We're going to break down Tesla's journey into three main chapters. And these three periods, they pretty much explain everything. Okay, Chapter 1. Let's call it the Pioneer's Advantage. We're talking 2010 to 2016. In these early days, Tesla wasn't just another car company. I mean, they were basically building the future right in front of our eyes. And this right here really paints the picture. I mean, look at this. Back in 2010, you had the Nissan Leaf. Good car, respectable, got you 73 miles on a charge. Then, just 2 years later, Tesla drops the Model S. Range? 265 miles. That's not just a little better. That's a whole different ballgame. It was an absolute revolution on wheels, with acceleration that just blew every other EV out of the water.
And believe me, people noticed. When Motor Trend made the Model S its 2013 Car of the Year, it was a total shock to the system. Think about it. They didn't say it was the best electric car. They said it was the best car, period. That one award completely cemented Tesla's reputation. Suddenly, they were the absolute peak of innovation and performance.
But the real genius here wasn't just the car itself. It was the whole ecosystem they built around it. Tesla knew the biggest fear people had was range anxiety, getting stranded with a dead battery. So they didn't just sell you a car, they sold you a solution, their very own high-speed supercharger network. For the first time ever, you could actually drive an EV long distances, and nobody else had anything that could even come close to competing with that.
Which brings us to our next phase, the second movers. From about 2017 to 2020, Tesla set its sights on the mass market. But this time, they weren't the only ones playing the game. All of a sudden, you had new players on the field. The Chevy Bolt, the Hyundai Kona Electric. And these were serious contenders, not just novelties. They started to catch up on range, they were competitive on price. But Tesla's response, they dropped the Model 3 and the Model Y, and wow. These were just knockout punches. They were so wildly successful that they didn't just maintain Tesla's lead, they cemented it. And that leads us right up to the present day, what we can call the erosion of dominance. Since 2021, that little trickle of competition has turned into an absolute flood. The market that Tesla pretty much invented is now, well, it's getting pretty crowded. I mean, just look at the sheer number of different models out there now. It's staggering. You've got startups like Rivian, you've got the big legacy guys like Ford jumping in, and now there's a really good EV for just about everyone. If you want a sporty SUV, an electric truck, you have options. The choice isn't just Tesla anymore. The whole landscape has just fundamentally changed. So, this is where we are now. Tesla still has that killer brand recognition, and of course, that incredible charging network. But that massive, untouchable tech advantage they used to have, yeah, that's pretty much gone. The competition has caught up. And now the fight is all about price, it's about features, and maybe most importantly, it's about giving people choices. So, how did this all happen so fast? Well, it's not just that there are more cars to choose from. There are some deeper things going on here, forces that are really shifting the whole balance of power. And one of the most interesting pieces of the puzzle is something you just can't untangle from the Tesla brand. Its CEO, Elon Musk. It's so important that researchers actually created something called a Tesla Musk image score to track how people feel about him and the company over the last 20 years. And what they found is pretty wild. When his image score goes up, Tesla's market share goes up with it. And boy, has that score been a roller coaster. Every big event, from the amazing early SpaceX successes to, well, controversial tweets and polarizing political statements, it all directly affects how people see the brand. For Tesla, more than maybe any other car company out there, the CEO's public image and the company's bottom line are totally linked. They're like two sides of the same coin. Oh, and you can't forget about government policy. That's been a huge deal. Just look at what happened in 2023 when the full federal tax credit came back for Tesla. Boom, their market share got a direct, measurable boost. That little bit of help really leveled the playing field, especially as things were getting more and more competitive.
So when you add it all up, what determines Tesla's market share is this really complex mix of things. The biggest drag on it, no surprise, is all the new competition. But there are still these really powerful things pushing back in Tesla's favor. That amazing supercharger network, the CEO's image score, and even just how the overall economy is doing.
So what now? After you've literally created a market from scratch and then completely dominated it, what's the next move? Where does Tesla go from here, now that the rest of the world has finally caught up?
It's pretty clear the company's at a major crossroads. I mean, their original secret sauce was this huge technology lead that nobody else could touch. But that lead has shrunk, and now Tesla is facing a real challenge from the very market that it itself created.
And this leaves us with the one big fundamental question about Tesla's future. What do they do? Do they double down and try to win the mass market EV battle they started, maybe with a cheaper car? Or do they pivot, leave that fight to others, and go all in on the next massive frontier, fully autonomous robotaxis? That's the big question. And the answer won't just shape Tesla's future. It could very well shape the future of how all of us get from point A to point B.